The NFL world is consistently reacting, so we do here to Justin Jefferson's record-setting deal yesterday. A 4-year contract extension worth $140 million with the Minnesota Vikings. That includes $110 million guaranteed. That's $35 million per year on an annual average salary basis, making Justin Jefferson the highest paid wide receiver in the history of the National Football League, but not just wide receiver, the highest paid non-quarterback ever in the history of the National Football League as well. And, Donnie, we brought this breaking news to everybody yesterday when the contract extension came down. And, frankly, we expected J-Jet to get his large payday at a certain point throughout this offseason, more than likely during these summer months. And here they are. And the reaction that you have seen around the National Football League in the last 24 hours or so, how do you feel about this contract extension for J-Jet?
I love it. I think it's fantastic. You take care of maybe the best wide receiver in football, lock him up for years to come, keep him happy heading into training camp. And also, the price of the brick goes up every single day. And how do you know this is like a good contract? And, we always pull like different contracts that we seem like, I can't believe this guy got this much money. Probably the most recent one, I guess you could say, where we all laughed at was Daniel Jones of the New York Giants, getting $40 million roughly per year when if he went on the free agent market, I don't even know if he would have got a contract offer from any other team. That was funny. But you saw these numbers for Justin Jefferson at $110 million guaranteed, and everybody goes, yeah, it makes sense. He's a really good player. That's what he's deservedly so. And also, A.J. Brown behind him, $84 million. St. Brown at $77 million. I'm just bringing up two of those guys because of how much money more Justin Jefferson got in guarantees than those other guys. Are we saying he's so much better than A.J. Brown or Amon-Ra St. Brown? No, we're not. But even though he got that much more, nobody's having a tough time with it because if you are considered the best player at your position and you break a record on salary compensation, that's what's supposed to happen here. So who knows who the next wide receiver is going to be, but that is a high bar that has been set now for a top flight wide receiver. And everybody by rounding saying, and including myself, that's a good deal. He's a good player. You have him locked up for a long time. He's young. He should dominate. Let's get after it.
Let's go to that guaranteed money graphic again, first and foremost, to highlight the excellent work of our graphics producer, Jesse Metzger. That is a beautiful image on the screen. And then secondly, to highlight the first four guys, including Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jalen Waddle, that have the most guaranteed money at the wide receiver position in the National Football League. All four of those contract extensions happening this offseason. It is where the wide receiver market is trending. Now, $140 million in total is a vast amount of money. $35 million per year is a lot of money. If there was one guy not named a quarterback worth it, in my estimation, it's Minnesota's Justin Jefferson. When you look at the career stats for J-Jet in his 4 years out of LSU, it's been otherworldly. The Offensive Player of the Year 2 years ago in 2022. He started off the first 3 weeks of this past season nearly having 150 receiving yards in 3 consecutive games. Donnie, he only played 10 games last year and still had more than 1,000 receiving yards as well. Justin Jefferson has been an absolute freak. Over his 4-year NFL career, he averages 98.3 receiving yards per game. That's the most per game from an average basis in the history of the NFL as well. Justin Jefferson is deserving of it. And you said, DRS, that's what's supposed to happen. When you are arguably, if not even inarguably, the best at your position, you should reset the market. You should get that record-setting historic deal. I estimated that one of the wide receivers that was in line for a contract extension this offseason, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, maybe even Dallas's CeeDee Lamb, would get close to $35 million per year. Did you think that was in the cards for a guy like Justin Jefferson as well?
I didn't know how high it was going to go because the one thing that I guess they were good with, and you saw the end of the season when the general manager here for the Minnesota Vikings goes, this is our best player on the team, basically. This is the best wide receiver in the league. He's young. We are going to pay him accordingly. And I believe he even offered the words of, we're going to make him the highest paid wide receiver in the sport here. And everyone's like, yeah, we expected that to take place. But also, we weren't hearing numbers being floated out. And we saw contracts coming in, the Waddles, the St. Browns, and A.J. Brown, like, ooh, you know what? That's going to be a benchmark where this guy is going to get over that. But the fact of the matter is that A.J. Brown got $84 million. He got $110 million. And Also keep in mind, he wasn't a free agent, because how many times did these players get so upset? Like, man, Ben, if I just got onto the free agent market, my number would be $25 million higher. And also, he didn't get a hometown discount from the team. Like, oh, I'm just happy here. I want to stay here. They actually did really right by him. He goes, if you hit the free agent market, we don't even know if you would get this much, but we love you. We're going to pay you even more than what you think you might have been worth on the open market at this point. Also, keep in mind, you have to keep these wide receivers happy. Do they want big paychecks? Absolutely. But they also want the football. So if that football isn't coming their way, at least you know you have that big paycheck. Because let's keep in mind, Kirk Cousins was an unbelievable guy for Justin Jefferson, who knew, like, you know what? This guy actually got me paid over the past couple of years. You have a rookie coming in who does have some talent, but he's still a rookie. So if you're Justin Jefferson and you don't get your 130 catches for 1,800 yards and 22 touchdowns, the Vikings said, you know what? We might have expected some growing pains here. That's why we paid you so much money. We'll get it back next year.
1,300 and a half. That is the receiving yards number for Justin Jefferson in 2024. It feels like a high bar, but if he's healthy for 15, 16, 17 games, even with the rook at the quarterback position, I think he goes over. Many people smiling yesterday in Minneapolis, no more than Justin Jefferson, but Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, the GM for the Vikes, he's smiling. Kevin O'Connell, large grin, as is J.J. McCarthy. What more could you ask for as a rookie signal caller than to arguably have the best wide receiver incredibly happy in the National Football League back with your organization? Now, we'll talk about the Vikings more on the other side, DRS, but they do have a 7.5 win total. The odds not overly optimistic on Minnesota as a team to have success this year. They have the longest price at 9-1 to win the NFC North out of the 4 teams in the division, and plus 290 to make the postseason. What's your outlook for the Vikings this upcoming season?
I think it's about right here, because it's not a downgrade on Minnesota. It's actually an upgrade on what that division is presenting now. The Green Bay Packers are very good. The Detroit Lions are very good. And we don't know if we saw a monumental leap between talent on the Bears from one year to the next that we've seen in the past 15 years in the NFL. Tough sledding for the Vikings.
A few more thoughts on the outlook around the National Football League next. Justin Jefferson got his big payday. What does it mean for the Minnesota Vikings this upcoming season? DRS, a couple of more thoughts on this because we were coming up on the commercial break. 7.5 is the win total for the Minnesota Vikings. The under has the hefty juice at minus 162. Minnesota is not overly thought of entering 2024 to be a playoff contender in the NFC, to win the North as they did 2 NFL seasons ago, or even really have a winning record despite bringing back Justin Jefferson. But I would still look at Minnesota favorably in terms of being a competitive football team, and I will continue to keep an eye on their overs. With Kirk Cousins, an incredibly profitable team in terms of what they were doing on the scoring side of the football. Brian Flores there on the defensive side of the football now. And yes, it is J.J. McCarthy. And yes, I have some questions about how his game and the actual productive numbers translates to the National Football League. But under Kevin O'Connell, with Justin Jefferson happy and back, second-year pro in Jordan Addison, one of the better tight ends in that conference in T.J. Hawkinson, you have to be optimistic about this Vikings offense at the very least.
No, you're right about that, because we do have higher expectations now in rookie quarterbacks as opposed to the past, let's just say, 10 to 15 years of coming into the league. And I'll continue to bring up what C.J. Stroud did last year, sending that into the stratosphere, going like, hey, not only can you win football games, you can win your division, you can make the playoffs, you can win playoffs, and also have your rookie quarterback in MVP conversations right up to the final couple weeks. Now, that is lofty expectations for J.J. McCarthy. And you'll also have Sam Darnold as a ready-made starting quarterback if they need, if McCarthy's not ready. Now, anytime you're drafting a quarterback that high, he better be ready for game number 1, because that's the fans' expectations. But also keep in mind, Aaron Jones at running back, who they brought over from Green Bay, that's a solid addition. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, who was a high draft pick for them, that's a formidable wide receiving core. And you did bring up T.J. Hawkinson as well. So it's not as if we're coming in with the starting lineup like I have nothing to work with. Like we saw last year, the number 1 overall pick go to Carolina and be like, are you kidding me? Like Miles Sanders is my guy down here, which what we had to deal with. You actually have a competent starting lineup, but sometimes it's not about your starting lineup, Ben. It's about the other team's starting lineup in that division. That's going to be a tough division, and it's no slouch. 7.5. Let's just say they get to 8 wins for the Minnesota Vikings. That's a quality season with a rookie quarterback here, but it's just a shame that they're going to play in a division with so much expectations outside of Minnesota.
The division is on the upswing. There is no doubt. The Chicago Bears have a win total of 8.5, but the over has the juice at minus 150. The Bears expected to have a winning record when 2 years ago they won only 3 games. The Lions now all of a sudden the year-over-year expected divisional favorites, and some promise with Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers rallying down the home stretch of last NFL season to earn a playoff berth and, of course, an upset playoff victory on the road in Dallas. The NFC North, one of the more intriguing divisions in football, in my estimation, this upcoming season. Oh, by the way, J.J. McCarthy's passing yards prop for his rookie campaign, 28.50 and a hook. I share that Justin Jefferson's was 1,300 and a half. That's nearly half of what J.J. McCarthy is expected. And, of course, you don't need J.J. McCarthy to throw all of that to Justin Jefferson, either via injury or maybe the rookie is not performing at his highest ability. They go somewhere else. Sam Darnold also in that quarterback room in Minneapolis. But I do like the number on J.J. McCarthy with all the talent around him in Minneapolis, given how relatively low that number is. So, Donnie, as we look at the wide receiver market, Justin Jefferson has been paid. Amon-Ra St. Brown also paid this offseason. A.J. Brown previously was the highest paid receiver in the National Football League. His contract extension this offseason to the tune of $32 million per year. Jalen Waddle's still in the top 5 in terms of payments. So what is next? Who do you think the next wide receiver to be paid is going to be? Might it be CeeDee Lamb in Dallas? Might it be Jamar Chase and or T. Higgins in Cincinnati?
It's CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is going to, see these numbers, and we're also getting reports out that it's now accelerated here in the room, meaning that Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and the agency that's representing CeeDee Lamb say, all right, we have that number here. Now, granted, let's take it back to when Patrick Mahomes got that $500 million contract. We never said that was an overpayment, even though it was way more money than any quarterback was making, because the value was you have the best player at your best position in sports, and you're going to have him for the next 10 years, pay him whatever he wants. CeeDee Lamb is really good. I don't know if he's going to eclipse Justin Jefferson, but he's going to be in that ballpark because he's a really, really good wide receiver, and they need to pay him sooner than later, and they will. He's next on my docket. The Cincinnati Bengals, you're going to get some dust on those trophies out there, boys, because I don't think they're getting paid for quite some time.